In this video, I want to show you the process of coming up with a program that figures out how many numbers there are in a list, like for example the list L, that are between 5 and 8, and I mean inclusive. So the first step that I want to make is to actually do this by hand, but looking at each element in turn, the way you would when you are programming. So let's do that. What I'll do is I'll have a variable called count, and I'll simulate it using this little rectangle. At first I'll say, well, so far I've seen 0 elements that are between 5 and 8. And now I'll look at the first element. It is a 5. That's between 5 and 8 inclusive, so I'll increase the count and I'll start looking at this guy. This is a 6 that is between 5 and 8, so I'll increase the count again. Now it's 2. Now look at the 10. That's not between 5 and 8. The count will stay the same and I'll just move on. This is a 2. Not between 5 and 8. The count stays the same. This is a 7. The 7 is between 5 and 8, so I'll increase the count again. And now I'm done. I've looked through the entire list and I've increased count every time that I saw an element that was between 5 and 8. I ended up with the count being 3, which is the right answer. There are exactly 3 numbers in L, unless I got confused somewhere, which are between 5 and 8. It's this 5 and 6 and the 7. Now, let's look at how to actually write code that performs this automatically. So what would be the idea? Here's the idea. I would look at each element in turn. So I'll look at L at 0, and I'll look at L at 1, and I'll look at L at 2, and so on, up until the last element. In this case, this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So up to L at 4. And I'll check for each one. Is it greater than between 5 and 8, or is it not? If it is, I'll increase count. If it's not, I won't increment count. That's the idea. How do I increment count conditionally? Well, what I would say is, for example, for L at 2, I would ask, is L at 2 between 5 and 8? I could ask it like that. And if it is, I'll say count equals to count plus 1. If it's not, I'll just skip this line. So this is for L at 2. For a general element of L, that would be L at I, for example. That would look like that. I could set I again to, for example, 2, in which case this is the same thing that I had before. But I want to do it for a general I, and in fact, I want to go from I equals 0 to 1 to 2 and up to 4. The way to do that is with a for loop. So I'll complete this by writing for I in range the length of the list L. This will do exactly what I want because the length of the list L is 5. There's 5 elements in L, and I want to go from L at 0 to L at 4. That's the last element of L, and that's exactly what for I in range length of L does. If length of L is the length of the list, which is 5, and I want to go up to 5 minus 1, which is 4.